A week from Tuesday, and if you're sick of the political ads, you're probably not alone. Politicians and political parties have spent $61 million buying campaign ads in the Chicago television market. This election cycle, candidates are also creating ads like this one and asking supporters to spread them over the internet. Earlier, we talked with political analyst Thom Serafin about whether the campaign ads are turning voters off.
Well, they say they're sick and tired of the politicians, but they all talk about the ads. Did you see this ad that said this? Did you see that ad that said this? The numbers came out from Fox Network that $61 million of ads has been spent here in the Chicago metropolitan and Illinois market in this particular election cycle. That's an enormous amount of money, enormous amount of ads, and we're going down to the stretch. Usually when people make the shift from a negative ad to a positive ad, you're going to see a lot more feel-good ads. People are going to be talking about families, the blue sky, goodness, and that's what I hope to see sometime by midweek.
So all of a sudden the political ads won't look so scary and negative anymore? All the bad ones are going to go away?
Right, as we go into Halloween weekend, all of a sudden you're going to see a lot of nice things being said about each other because people need to see that as you go into the polling booth. Most of the fisticuffs have taken place now, and somewhere in midweek you usually make that shift going into this last cycle, Wednesday through next Tuesday.
Do the ads really work at this point, though? Haven't most people already made up their minds which way they're going to go, and so the ads are kind of irrelevant at this stage?
Well, they are for the independent voters, people that haven't made up their minds. And in the race for U.S. Senate, in the Kirk Giannullis race, 23% of the people polled in the Mason-Dixon poll that came out today in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Democrats, haven't made their mind yet, made up their mind about the Democrat, Alexi Giannullis. So they're still sitting back. So that can make a difference, and that can put them over the top. So in a lot of races, people are still sitting back and trying to figure out, what are we going to do? According to Pew Research, 19% of the independents, 19% of the independents are now leaning towards the GOP. So they're still trying to figure out whether or not they can comfortably vote for a Republican. This is not going to be a Republican victory this year. It's going to be an anti-incumbent, anti-Democratic victory. So the Republicans still need to be humble as they go down the stretch.
Another way to look at those figures, you could say, is that despite all these millions of dollars spent on advertisements, 20% of the people, 1 out of 5, haven't made up their minds.
That's right. It's for the U.S. Senate race, and in that particular race, a lot of people are suggesting that it may be the candidate that you least dislike will be the winner because of the Donnybrook. It's really been a tough and ugly battle for both candidates for that race.
Let's talk about the governor's race for a second. The big news of the last few days, Senator Hendon, Hollywood Hendon, putting himself in the middle of this race by making some remarks about Senator Brady, calling him homophobic, racist, and then Pat Quinn has to apologize for the tenor of those remarks. What do you think was behind Senator Hendon's move? Was he trying to get some attention here?
Well, he suggested that he's going to be announcing a run for mayor. He's got to still file petitions, 12,500 signatures by November 22nd. This got him a lot of lights, got him his name in the headlines.
I think he just saw the cameras there and said, well, this is a chance to speak out. And
yes, it's a good opportunity. Listen, earlier today, Senator Brady and his wife were on stage with Reverend Meeks, also a state senator who serves with him in Springfield, and they embraced each other up on the podium at his church. Senator Meeks, Reverend Meeks, would not be doing that if Mr. Hendon was correct in his remarks. So it's a sad representation of what he's trying to suggest to the Republicans, but it tells you that the Democrats perceive Senator Brady to be ahead. And in the poll that came out today in the St. Louis Post, the Mason-Dixon poll, Senator Brady was indeed ahead. 44% of the vote was going in his direction. That's going to be a tough race for Pat Quinn down the stretch because 98% of the people in Illinois know who Governor Quinn is. And he's got a 45% disapproval rating in that poll. Senator Brady, most people don't know who he is. I think 70% know who he is, and he's only got a 32% negative rating. So just based on those numbers, it's going to be a tough race down the stretch. You know, Senator Brady has to come back to Quinn, and Quinn's got to pull him down. So you're going to see some tough ads this week as Governor Quinn closes out his campaign.
Are some of these ads going to finally focus on issues? I mean, Hendon's language did not focus on issues. It was very personal in the nature of the attack. Are we going to hear, we've heard a lot about jobs. Is that going to be the key issue for most voters?
You're right on, Larry, because in that poll again today, people were asked, why are you voting? What's the most important issue this election cycle? 68% of the people in Illinois said Jobs, jobs, jobs. 4% said social issues, issues like pro-life, pro-choice, issues like what Mr. Hendon is talking about. Those issues, only 4% of the voters are making those votes that way. So the governor has got to be talking about jobs. Senator Brady is talking about jobs. So that's where this election is going to be decided. Who can bring the jobs back to Illinois and solve the budget crisis?
And that's because they both want the job of governor. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
You can learn more about all the 2010 races by using the Fox Chicago WLS radio guide. You can also print a copy of your own local ballot to review all the candidates. Just go to myfoxchicago.com/voter guide.